Hare Krishna everyone, welcome back to the reading of Teachings of Queen Kunti by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And this is Shravanam Diaries podcast. I'm your host Sulalita Devidasi, and we are reading the last chapter of the book entitled Enchantment by Krishna's Glories. Haribol. Shri Krishna Krishna Saka Vrishni Rishabhavani Drug Rajanya Vamshadahana Napavarga Virya Govinda Godvija Surarti Haravatara Yogeshvara Kilaguro Bhagavan Namaste. O Krishna, O friend of Arjuna, O chief among the descendants of Vrishni, you are the destroyer of those political parties which are disturbing elements on this earth. Your prowess never deteriorates. You are the proprietor of the transcendental abode, and you descend to relieve the distresses of the cows, the brahmanas, and the devotees. You possess all mystic powers, and you are the preceptor of the entire universe. You are the Almighty God, and I offer you my respectful obeisances. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.43. Purport. A summary of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna is made herein by Srimati Kunti Devi. The Almighty Lord has his eternal transcendental abode where he is engaged in keeping Surabhi cows. He is served by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. He descends on the material world to reclaim his devotees and to annihilate the disturbing elements in groups of political parties and kings who are supposed to be in charge of administration work. He creates, maintains, and annihilates by his unlimited energies, and still he is always full with prowess and does not deteriorate in potency. The cows, the brahmanas, and the devotees of the Lord are all objects of his special attention because they are very important factors for the general welfare of living beings. Very important factors. The cows, the brahmanas, and the devotees. Kunti addresses Lord Krishna as Krishna Sakha because she knows that although Arjuna, who is also known as Krishna, is her son and therefore subordinate to her, Lord Krishna is more intimately related with Arjuna than with her. Krishna is also a name of Krishna. Krishna is also a name of Draupadi. And so the word Krishna Sakha also indicates Lord Krishna's relationship with Draupadi, whom he saved from being insulted when Duryodhana and Karna attempted to strip her naked. Kunti also addresses Lord Krishna as Vrishni Rishabha, the child of the dynasty of Vrishni. It was because Krishna appeared in the Vrishni dynasty that this dynasty became famous. Just as Malaysia and the Malaya Hills became famous because of the sandalwood that grows there. Kunti Devi also addresses Lord Krishna as the destroyer of the political parties or royal dynasties that disturb the earth. In every monarchy, the king is honored very gorgeously. Why? Since he's a human being and the other citizens are also human beings, why is the king so honored? The answer is that the king, like the spiritual master, is meant to be the representative of God. In the Vedic literature, it is said, Acharyam mam vijaniyam navamanyeta karhichit. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.17.27. The spiritual master should not be regarded as an ordinary human being. Similarly, a king or president is also not treated like an ordinary human being. In the Sanskrit language, the king is also called Naradeva, which means God in human form. His duty is like that of Krishna. As God is the supreme living being in the universe and is the maintainer of all other living beings, the king is the supreme citizen in the state and is responsible for the welfare of all others. Just as we are all living beings, Krishna, God, is also a living being. Krishna is not impersonal. Because we are all individual persons, but our knowledge and opulence are limited. The impersonalists cannot adjust to the idea that the supreme, the original, unlimited cause of everything can also be a person. Because we are limited and God is unlimited, the Mayavadis or impersonalists, with their poor fund of knowledge, think that God must be impersonal. Making a material comparison, they say that just as the sky, which we think of as unlimited, is impersonal, if God is unlimited, he must also be impersonal. But that is not the Vedic instruction. The Vedas instruct that God is a person. Krishna is a person, and we are also persons, but the difference is that he is to be worshipped, whereas we are to be worshippers. The king or president is a person, and the citizens are also persons. But the difference is that the president or king is an exalted person who should be offered all respect. Now, why should so many persons worship one person? Because that one person provides for the others. Eko bahunam yo vidadhati kaman. God is one, and we are many. But he is worshipped because he provides for everyone. It is God who provides food and all the other necessities of life. We need water, and God has nicely arranged for oceans of water with salt mixed in it to preserve it all nicely. Then, because we need drinking water, by God's arrangement, the sunshine evaporates the water from the ocean, takes it high in the sky, and then distributes clear, distilled water. Just see how God is providing everything that everyone needs. Even in ordinary life, the state has a heating department, lighting department, plumbing department, and so on. Why? Because there are amenities we require. But these arrangements are subordinate. The first arrangement is that of God. It is God who originally supplies heat, light, and water. It is God who supplies the rainwater that fills our wells and reservoirs. Therefore, the original supplier is God. God is an intelligent person who knows that we need heat, light, water, and so on. Without water, we cannot produce food. Even those who eat animals cannot do so without God's arrangement. For the animal also must be provided with grass before one can take it to the slaughterhouse. Thus, it is God who is supplying food, but still, we are creating rebellion against Him. The word druk means rebellious. Those rascals who are going against the law of God are rebellious. The king's duty is to act as the representative of Krishna, or God. Otherwise, what right does he have to take so much honor from the citizens? Monarchy was formerly present in every country, but because the kings rebelled against God and violated His laws, because they tried to usurp the power of God and did not act as His representatives, the monarchies of the world have nearly all disappeared. The kings thought that their kingdoms were their personal property. I have so much property, such a big kingdom, they thought. I am God, I am the Lord of all I survey. But that is not actually the fact. That fact is that everything belongs to God. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Therefore, the representative of God must be very obedient to God, and then his position will be legitimate. Greedy, self-interested kings are like false spiritual masters who proclaim that they themselves are God. Because such false masters are rebellious, they have no position. A spiritual master is supposed to act not as God, but as the most confidential servant of God by spreading God consciousness, Krishna consciousness. Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur says, Sakshadhari Tvena Samastra Shastrair Yuktah. All the Shastras, the Vedic literatures, state that the spiritual master is to be honored as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, the idea that the spiritual master is as good as God is not bogus. It is stated in the Shastras, and therefore those who are advanced in spiritual life accept this spiritual injunction. Yuktastatha bhavyata eva sabdhir. Then is the spiritual master as good as God. Kintu prabhorya priya eva tasya. The spiritual master is not God, but is the confidential representative of God. The distinction is that between Sevya Bhagavan, he who is worshipped, and Sevaka Bhagavan, he who is the worshipper. The spiritual master is God, and Krishna is God, but Krishna is the worshipable God, whereas the spiritual master is the worshipper God. Worshipper God. The Mayavadis cannot understand this. They think because the spiritual master has to be accepted as God, and because I have become a spiritual master, I have become God. This is rebellious. Those who are given a position by God, but who want to usurp his power, which they actually cannot do, are rebellious fools and rascals who require punishment. Therefore, Kunti Devi says, Avanidru grajanya vamsha dahana. Quote, you descend to kill all these rascals who rebelliously claim your position. Unquote. When various kings or landholders are subordinate to an emperor, they sometimes rebel and refuse to pay taxes. Similarly, there are rebellious persons who deny the supremacy of God and declare themselves as God, and Krishna's business is to kill them. The word anapavarga indicates that Krishna's prowess is without deterioration. Yes. Okay, we're going to stop here for today, but today I was just bewildered because I clearly remembered, this is the second time I'm reading this book from cover to cover, and I clearly remembered, I was like thinking that one thing that really struck me last time I was reading this was the description of pavarga and apavarga, and how it's described with pa, ba, and bha, and ma, like the Sanskrit letters, and Prabhupada describes what is the material world. And I was thinking that I clearly remembered, but now we've almost finished the book and it's not there, so I was thinking maybe I'm confused, but here it is, and it's a very important point and a very strong point, and it just it's a balm on the heart of a materially exhausted person, and it's a very, very beautiful description, incredible description. We're going to read it tomorrow. So just remember that anapavarga, Krishna's prowess, is without deterioration. This word is the opposite of the word pavarga, which refers to the path of material tribulation. So we will read about this tomorrow and conclude the book. So thank you so much for tuning in today. The link to this book is in the description. Please check out our website shravanamdiaries.com, and we shall see you next time. Hare Krishna.